Hello and welcome. I'm Jacob Bellotti, joined as always by the orange and blue. I'm not very creative today. Orange and blue, floral printed Larry Saperstein. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Remember in our first handful of episodes when you would only comment on the things that I was wearing, and then I was like, "Honey, we should expand. We should talk about our personalities."
No. In the first few episodes, we would say my effervescent, and we would use adjectives.
You're right. It was about 10 episodes in.
Yeah. Well, anyway, welcome to Let's Talk About That.
All systems are a go.
Talking database activated.
Begin in 3, 2, 1.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what? Let's talk about who? Let's talk about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about that. Girl, I cannot believe we are talking about that.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Let's talk about that. Oh my goodness. We are only 4 weeks 4 weeks away from the end of
not including this week.
Right. This is episode 46 of season 1. We're ending season 1 at 50.
Yeah.
And our 49th and 50th episodes will be very special.
And then we're taking a long break.
Yeah, a whole 2 weeks.
Long break. You won't even see or hear from us for a fortnight.
Not a fortnight.
I mean, it sounds and seems longer when you say
it's funny that because we've recorded so many promos that you actually will hear from us during that fortnight. We recorded a ridiculous amount of content.
Because we'll be playing Fortnite, honey.
We will?
No, I've never played that one.
Oh, I did.
You played Fortnite?
I played Fortnite. I played it with Zachary.
When were you going to tell me this?
Well, I don't know.
It's like a big news.
Really? I played it with my best friend Zachary from home.
Wow.
We both had the PlayStation 4s during COVID.
Okay.
And so sometimes we would go on and play Fortnite together.
Wow.
I was terrible. I was really bad.
Because isn't it like a free game? And then you have to just pay.
I honestly, I don't even
inside of the game.
I don't even remember. What I do remember about it was what we could play. It's they drop 100 people onto an island, and then it's last man standing.
Right.
I was horrifically bad.
I honestly don't know much about it. I know that you're supposed to build forts and then fight people, but now
I never really learned how to build, so I wasn't very good.
Well, now Fortnite is more than that. Fortnite is a community now.
Yes.
And I'm not sure about all that.
And they have like Nicki Minaj was in Fortnite.
Right.
Right. They put in
like the Avengers,
things.
right?
Yeah, I think 11 from Stranger Things was in it.
Wild. I really want to see that Minecraft movie.
Yes, we're gonna go see it. By the time this comes out, we will have seen it. So our review will be next time.
Honey. Also, by the time that we record the next episode without a guest, okay?
Uh-huh.
The next episode where we just get to sit down and talk.
Yeah.
Just us girls.
Uh-huh.
We will have gone to Disneyland together.
Oh my God.
Not to spoil our plans for the crowd.
Yeah.
But we're going to Disneyland.
Yes. I have never been to Disneyland.
I've been, I think, 6 times.
Yeah.
Wait, give me a moment to count while you explain your side of the story.
Yeah, I've never been to Disneyland, but I have been to Disney World quite a bunch. I used to go, I'm from New Jersey, so I used to go with my family. I'm stalling for time when we were in Florida.
Either 6 or 7 times I've been to Disneyland. So this will either be my 7th or 8th time.
Okay.
But what's crazy is...
But it's your first time with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's my first time with you. And what's crazy is when the first time I went to Disneyland, I was 21. And I'm 26 now, almost 27.
You're 27 by the time this comes out.
By the time this comes out, I'll be 27. It's also the pre-birthday episode.
My God.
So the next time we record will be the post-birthday episode.
Yeah, he'll look like 5 years older the next time you see him.
When you look at pictures of me from 2021 to now, different person.
Well, honey, you were a completely different age.
Yeah, but only by like 4 years.
Yeah, but these are the years that you become like an adult. You know what I mean?
I thought that was puberty. Whatever happened to puberty?
Well, puberty, you become like a young adult, but like your puberty stops at around 25. So like,
and then oldness starts.
So
now I'm old.
Right, now you're old. You're an old hag.
Damn it. I really do feel like an old hag sometimes. But I'm keeping the young spirit alive at Disneyland. How about that? I'm very excited to go to Disneyland with you. Okay, well, so the thing is, I've been like 7 times.
Yeah.
Like 5 of them were for work. Okay.
Work.
Well, yes, work. It was like the first time I went was for D23 in 2022 D23 in 2019 was the first time I went.
Okay.
Pre-COVID.
That was 6 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I went in 2021. And then I went like 3 times in 2022.
Okay.
And then I went in 2023. I haven't been in 2 years.
Okay. Well.
So it's, yeah. But what's crazy is I've only ever been to Disney World like twice in my life. And I only went to the Magic Kingdom like the last time I went there, I was like 3 years old.
See, and I was explaining to the listeners while you were counting that I've been to Disney World many times. I've been to every park there, like
you probably have like
times.
Stronger memories. The last time I went to Disney World, I was in 4th grade, and my uncle and dad, I guess, decided that I was too old to go to the Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
So we went to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and those were the only parks we went to.
You know, Epcot's fierce though. Epcot is fierce.
Can be fierce, but like we weren't like eating and drinking. I was 10.
Oh,
I do remember having fun though.
Epcot, I always thought was I'm also a history nerd and like
Journey into Imagination with Figment. I think that ride doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, which one is that? Is that the one inside the globe?
No, that's called Spaceship Earth.
Oh, okay.
The Journey into Imagination was in the Imagination Pavilion, which I don't think exists anymore.
Okay.
And Figment was like the purple dragon.
I do remember a purple dragon.
Figment was his name.
Yeah, I really loved Epcot, actually. I think that was my favorite of the parks.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your favorite ride? Was it the Ellen ride?
The Ellen ride?
Yeah, there was an Ellen ride at Epcot.
Oh, you know what?
Ellen and Bill Nye.
There sure was an Ellen ride. You're absolutely right.
I loved the Ellen ride.
No, I loved the Globe one because it was about history and like where we've been and where we're going, and that was like my thing.
When I went there, I believe the Spaceship Earth was down. Like it wasn't, and I've never been able to ride that.
Oh, well, next time we visit your parents in Florida, we'll hit up Epcot.
You know what else is about history at Disneyland? Actually, believe it or not, the Disneyland Railroad has a section that is about history.
Can we ride it?
Yeah, we can go on it.
Oh, that's great.
And even if we want to, we can just ride. It's not the whole ride. It's just from one section to another. There's like a part about history, and they show you like the dinosaurs.
Oh, that's fun.
It's kind of fun. We could ride that if we want. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in preparation for my first time ever at Disneyland.
Yeah.
What do I need to know?
Okay, so it's a lot smaller. Well, see, this is hard for me because I don't fully know like the frame of reference, but from what I gather, it is smaller by a lot than Disney World.
Okay.
Right? Smaller than Disney World.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, the like legacy attractions are better at Disneyland because they're like the OGs.
Mm-hmm.
And
why is that better?
Because
Just asking.
so they were, a lot of them were like actually made by Walt Disney.
Okay.
So like, for example,
Does that make them better?
well, because he was like the person with like the kind of ingenuity, like spirit.
And horrific anti-Semitism.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But like, so for example, like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride
Yeah.
at Disneyland is the last ride that like Walt himself ever worked on.
Okay.
And then at Disney World, he like passed away before the parks were completed, so he never got to like see it to completion.
Right.
But obviously Disney World has more space for the rides, but there's like more history at Disneyland with like those legacy attractions.
Have we talked about this on the podcast? How self-fucking-centered it is to name an entire park after
Disneyland.
yourself?
Yeah, well,
like
it's-
his name is Walt Disney. Like, are we building Saperstein Land?
Well,
like,
that's like the crazy thing. I mean, okay, but we can also say the same. Like, there's an entire state called Washington.
yeah, but
There's a state called Pennsylvania named after the Penns.
Okay, yeah, but George Washington didn't name Washington State.
Right, I guess, but like people did.
Yeah, but
People
this
have been naming things after themselves forever.
No, but this is him naming the park after
mean,
himself. It's not somebody else
I
doing
say
it as a
something?
tribute.
Can I say
like,
something
he named it after
controversial?
himself.
Can I say something controversial?
Sure, but as long as you recognize the point I just made.
It's gonna be
Okay.
tied to your point.
Okay.
We're watching Severance right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Kier.
Uh,
Walt Disney, because when you I mean, okay, there's a lot I don't know about Severance. I'm only
So-
5 episodes in.
yeah, he's 5 episodes in.
But
to
when
season
you,
1.
But when you like work at the parks, especially, or like Disney, like corporate, it's all about Walt's vision. Like for like Walt Disney, the person, is like this figurehead, this god of the company.
Even though he was like terribly anti-Semitic.
Yeah, they don't talk about any of his negative things.
Huh.
And like, you know, there's statues of him all over the place, and there's busts of him, and there's images of him and holding Mickey Mouse and like all of that stuff. And you're like, it's like literally like praise Kier.
Interesting.
Like obviously not as crazy.
You'll see more Kier stuff that might sway what you think about that. But
and also I shouldn't say that as someone who was employed heavily by the mouse.
The mouse owned you, honey.
Yeah, look, hey, this is no shade. This is no shade to the Walt Disney Corporation.
Yeah.
As it is now.
Yes.
But I'm just saying it is kind of crazy. Like it is all Walter Elias Disney.
Yeah, we should build Saperstein Bellotti Land.
That would be fun.
Although doesn't quite have the
Doesn't
same
quite
ring
have the
to
same
it.
ring. Isn't it crazy? Like we think of Disney and it is such a brand now.
Yeah,
But it's someone's name.
it sure is.
Like when you think of all of the big companies, right? Like even down to like Apple, Amazon.
Yeah.
But then when you think of like streaming companies, Netflix, Hulu, HBO,
Yeah.
none of them are names of people.
Right.
Except Disney.
Right, and he was the one who named it that. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, what a self-centered asshole.
Disney,
We love you.
Walter Elias and his
He's the
brother.
one with the frozen head.
Right.
He is the frozen
That's why
head.
I'm saying it's a little like here.
Yeah, it's a little creepy. Anyway, what should I know going to Disneyland?
Well, I mean, my experiences at Disneyland have always been like somewhat relaxed, honestly. Like I feel like there's this energy at Disney World just from like knowing people who have gone. Like obviously we grew up on the East Coast,
Yeah.
and when you grow up on the East Coast, everyone goes to Disney World like
Yeah.
every year, you know. It's like, or not every year, but
I know
rich
it
people go
was
every year.
my high school senior class trip.
I was
except
so mad
I
we
was
didn't go to high school.
I was too poor to go.
So you didn't go?
I didn't go.
Wait, so how often did you go with your family?
Well, it was my grandpa, and we've talked about this, lived in the same
Right.
community
As
where
my
your
grandma.
where your grandma
Not the
lives.
same community, but the same town.
The same town where your
Yeah.
grandma lives now. And so we would go to visit him when he was still alive.
Right.
And when we would go visit him, we would always go to Disney World.
Not
and
super close
Universal.
though.
I don't even remember.
Boynton
I-
Beach,
frankly,
West Palm?
I don't remember like how close or far it was.
It's like 3-hour drive.
Oh, well, we would go like every time. Because I think we would fly into like Orlando, or we would fly. There's another airport in that area,
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach, that we
Yeah,
would
or
sometimes
Palm Beach
go
International.
into. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Disney World was the place. Nobody went to Disneyland.
No, because
on
it's
the
so
East
far.
Coast.
It's so far. And it's not as big.
Yeah.
So it's, Disney World is such a destination. But I think that's the big difference, right? So like Disney World is a destination.
Yeah.
And you're meant to go there, and there is so much to do.
Well, yeah, because
You
they
are-
also have Universal Orlando there.
There's the Universal parks, right?
Epic Universe.
Epic Universe. Oh, we could get all up into that. But at Disney World in
Yeah.
Florida,
Yeah.
like you are meant to. It's really very hard to go there without staying at one of the resort properties. Like otherwise you're just never going to experience everything. And even the parks themselves have so many attractions in them. They're so big that it's like the bigger parks, it's hard to do it all in one day because they're so crowded, they're so popular, and they're so big.
What
Right?
at Disney World?
Yeah.
You can do one park in a day.
Right, you can do one park.
You can't do more than one.
Right.
But
But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's even hard to do everything. Like at Magic Kingdom,
Yeah.
it's hard to do even everything at Magic Kingdom in
Yes.
one day. Like
Yes.
that's even hard.
Yeah.
At Disneyland, it's more manageable.
Right. We're gonna do everything in one
We're
day.
going to try to do as much as we can in one day. Both parks.
You didn't say everything. You put
There might be
little
some
disclaimer
things that we
there.
have to skip just based on time.
Such as what? What are the skippable things?
Well, so actually, I was talking about this with Jerome last night.
Oh,
'Cause you
okay.
were-
Our producer Jerome.
You went to
who's-
sleep early, and Jeremy and I were sitting on the couch talking about this for a while.
Our producer Jerome, who is again notoriously absent from
Yeah.
our recording.
But he'll be at Disneyland.
he sure will.
So he'll be at the company retreat, but he won't do the work.
That's right. Write it off.
Yeah.
He wants to write it off for tax purposes.
Anyway, so
We
I
gotta get a
counted
new
it.
producer.
I counted it out, and there's like 15 attractions
Okay.
that are like must do
okay.
at both parks.
So what didn't make the list?
So, I mean, there's a lot of smaller things that are skips.
Yeah.
A lot of smaller things that are skips.
Okay.
Like, there's a Ferris wheel that we don't have to do.
Oh, I don't want to do the Ferris.
No,
wheel.
like there's a lot of like rides for children that are skips. But the thing is, we're going with my cousins who are visiting from
Yes.
New York.
Dana and Jill.
From North Carolina. They're not in New York.
Dana and Jill.
Dana and Jill, yeah.
Yes.
So they're not here yet, but they will be here. And I will say, like, if there's something they really want to do, we'll do it. And then that might mean that we have to sacrifice one of the larger things.
Well, honey, hold on a minute. We can't sacrifice the list.
All right. So you want to go over the list?
Yeah, let's go over the list.
All right. So we're starting our day in California Adventure. I'm also a little nervous.
All right. Tee up a soundbite for me. So this is a good poll here. Okay, ready? So these are the top 15 things to do at Disneyland.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Okay, I'll say it again.
Okay.
For
Go
the
for
poll.
it. Go for it.
These are the top 15 things to do at Disneyland.
All right. In California Adventure,
Yeah.
we have Cars, Radiator Springs Racers. That's
Hello.
the big one.
Hello.
Then there's Incredicoaster.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Ariel on Little Mermaid ride.
Okay.
There's Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which is the drop tower.
Yes.
There's Soarin'.
Yes.
And
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
The poll's ruined.
no, we'll edit. I think those are like the kind of big ones there.
Okay.
Oh, Web Slingers.
Web slingers. Yes.
Yeah. Web Slingers and the Toy Story Midway Mania.
Yes.
So those are what is that, like 7
Yeah.
that I said?
Yeah.
So, and for me personally, Web Slingers could be a skip. Not my
Okay.
favorite.
Okay.
Also, Ariel, Little Mermaid ride could also be a skip.
Okay, what about the other park?
So in Disneyland, you have a few more.
Yeah.
So Disneyland, you have Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yes.
which is like my all-time favorite.
Okay, work.
Then you have the Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion. Love.
There's Rise of the Resistance, Star
Hello.
Wars.
Never been.
Yeah, really fun. We can do that one. We might have to pay extra for it though.
Okay.
There's Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which I love.
Okay.
Love that one.
Great.
I'm working my way clockwise. Oh, there's clockwise. There's Indiana Jones.
Uh-huh.
That's a big one. Space Mountain
Okay. Yes, of course.
and Big Thunder Mountain.
Thunder Mountain. What about Splash Mountain? They have Splash Mountain?
It's now Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Okay. Is that part of it? Is that one of the ones
Well,
we're doing?
so here's the thing. For me, I don't like to get wet.
Oh, well, you don't
at the
really get
parks.
wet on Splash Mountain.
The one time I did it, I got wet.
Oh, okay. Well, I only did it at Disney World, and you didn't really get wet.
I got wet, and also my shoes got wet, which I didn't like. Like
Oh,
my
yeah.
socks got
That's
wet.
uncomfortable.
I didn't like that.
So those were the top 15 things to do at Disneyland.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah, of course.
But also, so there's also a ride at California Adventure across the way
Uh-huh.
called Grizzly River Run, I think it's called, which is like a rapids.
That's the one that goes to the redwoods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's like a traditional rapids ride, but I don't love that because you can get really soaked on those rapids rides.
But I do like rapids. They're kind of fun.
I just don't like to get wet in the
Well,
middle of the day.
We'll give you a poncho.
You have to buy the ponchos and they're like $15.
Okay, well, we'll get you a $2 one on Amazon.
You want to do the water rides?
I don't know. We'll see.
We have to. If you want to do the water rides, you have to let me know ahead of time because that's gonna. I didn't budget that into the schedule.
It's not in the budget. Were you an EIC?
No, not into the. I didn't budget it in the schedule. It's not about money. It's about time.
I'm sorry. It doesn't fit in the budget.
I mean, that would throw a wrench in the plans.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, right? So we're getting there a little late. Is the other thing that I'm like a little.
What time
scared
are
of.
we getting there?
We won't really be able to get there until like 10:30.
That's late.
Well, the park opens at 8.
Oh.
And we won't really be in the parks until 11, maybe even a little closer to 11:30.
Okay.
Because you have to park, and then you have to get on a tram that takes you over to the parks. That could take 30 minutes or so. I think it'll be a little bit easier because we won't be at like rope drop. So a lot of like, if you get there at 7 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Like, then you're waiting because nobody is in the parks. So everyone is in the parking structure. You're like filing in. I think later in the day, probably the parking structure and getting into the parks takes a little bit less time. And also the last time I did that, I was with my dad, which, just took a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But so I'm hoping that we can like get through all that pretty quickly. But yeah, we might not get into the parks until like 11:30. And then at that point, like,
And then how long do we have?
well, we have until midnight.
Oh, so we have 12 hours.
Yeah,
basically.
so California Adventure closes at 10, but
Okay.
Disneyland closes at midnight.
Okay.
So basically, we'll do California Adventure first.
Yeah.
We'll get through all those things first, and then hopefully around like 3:00 we can go over to Disneyland and do all the things we got to do in Disneyland.
Well, I'm excited, honey. I think
Yeah.
it'll be a good time.
Yeah, and like that's the thing is like the good news is we live in California and the rides are always the same. So if there's anything that we miss, I'll be upset. You'll have to talk me out of it.
Yeah.
But we can always go back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, look, when I went with my dad, I was my dad is handicapped, and I was really nervous. I was like, there's going to be so much that we're not going to be able to do. And to tell you the truth, like with my handicapped father, we did so much that day at the parks. There were like maybe like 4 or 5 like big rides that we didn't do.
Okay.
Everything else we did.
All right. Great.
And I feel like And we left at like 5 p.m. We got there at rope drop. We got there at like 8 a.m. We were in the parks by like 9:30. We had to do like the disability
Rope
access.
drop, very official.
That's what they call like the opening, right? Opening of the
Your
parks.
terms.
Well, it's because I watched the YouTubes.
Uh-huh.
And so then, maybe by like 9:30, 10, we were like going to do all the rides and stuff.
Yeah.
And we left at 5. And we did all of that.
Okay.
So
well,
I feel like
I'm
with
optimistic.
Like as long as everyone in our group is willing to like power through and do more stuff, there's a great chance that we'll do basically everything we want to do.
Okay. I think we'll do fine. I think it's going to be great.
And like, with the fast passes which we have, the lines are never more than like 30 minutes.
With the fast pass, it's 30 minutes?
At most.
Oh my God. That is
like
a long time.
sometimes you still have to wait a little bit.
I mean, what's the point of
older
the
rides.
fast pass if you have to wait 30 minutes?
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a little faster with the fast pass.
Huh.
But the way it works is like you have to schedule your ride for whenever it is. So sometimes that's a bit of a like
schedule.
Yeah. So basically like, so say we go into California Adventure, right? And we want to do Incredicoaster.
Yeah.
Or we would look and see like what the wait times are for all the different rides, and what the like longest, what the furthest out like pass is, which would be the most popular ride. So usually it's like Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which is like the Tower of Terror, like drop tower.
Yeah, I did that when it was Tower of Terror in Disney World.
Yeah, it's a little different here. It's actually at Disney World, it's more involved. At Disneyland, it just goes up and down. It's just kind of... But it is really cool with the Guardians, like, thing. The Guardians of it all is very cool.
Okay.
And so say it's 11 a.m. It might be, like, the next available time to, like, get on the ride with Fast Pass might be 2 p.m. But so that's 3 hours. But then we have 3 hours to ride like the other stuff. So the standby line, which is no fast pass for that ride, could be an hour. But we have a reservation for the ride at 2 p.m. So if there's another ride that's at like the standby line is only like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, then we can do that, wait the 20 minutes for that, do something else, eat, whatever, and then when we get time for our 2 p.m. reservation, we go to the ride. Does that make sense?
I'm not big on waiting in
Well, we're going to have to
lines.
wait a little bit.
Okay.
Not
okay.
and not anything crazy.
I don't
But you trade off.
love-
You trade off. So
Okay.
some rides we'll be waiting for and some we won't.
Okay.
You kind of do a trade off.
All right. That's fine, I guess.
Yeah, you kind of have to like
We're going to have to bring our
prioritize.
sunscreen, our hats.
It's a sunscreen
our
day.
sunglasses,
It's a hat day. Yes.
everything.
Water.
I mean, we got to be incognito. Hello.
Yeah,
the
I'll wear my
people.
Disney Plus hat though. That'll be cute.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What
Kind
hat
of like
should
on
I wear?
brand. Maybe the one that says gay would be great for Disneyland.
Okay.
Should we get you a new hat?
A new hat.
A new hat?
What?
A new addition to like the hat collection?
That's strange. I don't often add to my hat.
But maybe you
collection.
need like a Disney one. Maybe we can buy you one there. Now we're talking. It's a magical Disney day.
All right, more. Let's talk about that right after this. And we're back.
We are back. That is something we are.
So, if you're still with us, I guess you care about Disneyland.
Yeah, sorry to talk your ears off about that. You know what? No, I'm not sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm not sorry at
No.
all. Deal with it.
Okay. Well,
Mom.
your birthday.
My birthday.
Let's talk about that.
What do you want to know about my birthday?
How are you feeling about it?
I'm really excited to turn 19.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been a great 18 years thus far.
Right.
And I'm ready for that last year of my teens.
The last year of your teens. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're about 8 years too late for that one.
No. Yeah, I'm excited.
That's it? That's all you have to say about it?
I don't know. I mean, my birthday is always weird because I I'm kind of a person that like if there's something I really want to do, I just kind of like do it. I don't really wait for my birthday time to do it.
Yeah.
So when my birthday comes around, I'm like, what do I want to do on my birthday? And I never know. But what I really like to do is like gather all of my friends and like have parties. I wish we had like a house with a yard. Then we would have parties way more often.
We do have a house with a yard.
Yes, and many people that work for us.
Yes.
And gorgeous pool.
Jerome.
Gorgeous. We have acres and acres.
Yeah.
If we lived somewhere like that, I would have a party all the time.
Right, but
we don't.
But we're doing a park party.
A park party. I'm excited about that. I think people are going to come. There's some decent RSVPs.
Yes,
like
a lot
30
of
people.
A lot of
RSVP.
LTAT royalty will be there.
Yes. You be ready for that carousel.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I mean,
and then we have a special birthday dinner.
Yeah, which we haven't decided where to go yet.
No.
So,
could be anywhere.
It could be anywhere in the Los Angeles area.
That's right. But we'll leave it anonymous. So if you're trying to find us, you won't be able to.
Yeah, this episode that comes out after.
Okay. We're also having a nice birthday dinner tomorrow night with Tim Federle.
Yes, that'll be nice.
Yes.
He's been very nice.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
Tim
taking us
Federle.
out for dinners.
And you'll be getting gifts.
I'll be getting gifts. You told me
That's
that I had
right.
birthday presents, and I was shocked.
You have 3 from me.
You said 2 before.
I know, but I've added a third, and it's right now. And the gift is me serenading you with happy birthday.
Oh. You know what? Let's wait.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
No one's ever gotten a better birthday song sung to them than Lawrence the cat.
Now that
because
is
the
true.
3 of us held that little damn cat and sang in 3-part harmony happy birthday.
That's one thing about having 3 singers in the family. You will get harmonies, honey, harmonies.
And to be fair, Lawrence is a singer.
Oh, that's true. He does sing.
He does sing.
He does.
When you
sing.
sing to him, sometimes he sings back.
That's true.
He has his big song.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll go Lawrence, and he'll go. I'll be like, what?
Do other cat owners go this crazy over their cats?
Yes.
It's like
about 100% of them do.
That's a cat thing.
Yeah. Except our cat is actually the best.
Right.
Like he's actually the best. So.
You know, there's a whole musical about cats being the best.
Okay. Are you done with your birthday? Are you done with your birthday? You don't want to talk about it anymore?
I mean, what else is there to talk about my birthday?
I mean, how you're feeling about turning 27.
Horrible. I hate it. What do you want me to say? Hate it.
I want you to reflect on your past year of life and your future.
I mean, we had a terrible election this year. The stock market crashed. Global warming is on the rise. Like, what do you want me to say? It wasn't a great year.
Oh, yeah. It was pretty shit.
We started the
wasn't it?
podcast in my 26th year. That's the highlight.
Sure did.
Yeah.
We actually started planning it in your 25th year. Isn't that crazy?
Right. Did we record an episode like about my birthday last time, or we just kind of my birthday happened and then we like checked back in and I was
well, we talked about the presents I got you. I remember that because it was the record player.
Right.
I remember talking about that on the
I
pod.
mean, nothing great has really happened since I hung up my TV last year. Last year on my birthday, we mounted my TV, and that still might be the best moment of the year.
Yes, we did. Oh my god!
You treated me very well on my birthday last year. You got me like breakfast ordered to the apartment.
Honey, I treat you well all the time.
Well, I understand that, but my birthday only happens once a year.
Yes.
I'm not used to being pampered like that.
Well, I like to pamper you on your birthday.
My parents always like it was always a special day, but we never really like. especially when I was in high school, like we never really did anything super crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I did that many crazy things for my birthday either, but like it's become more important as you get older because you know the clock is ticking. There's less and less left.
Oh my God.
So you got to make each one special, you know?
What's with birthday dinners? Like big group birthday dinners.
Oh.
Like that seems to be what everyone wants to do these days.
It's an excuse for everyone to get together and be able to go to work in the morning. That's what it is.
Like everyone's like, let's go to do a birthday dinner. I'm like, that is such a cop out. Have a party. Have a raid.
Okay, well, don't
Rage.
be saying that because we know plenty of people who have done birthday dinners.
Yeah, and I'll tell it to their face. I think they could be doing something
I
much
did a
more
birthday
creative.
dinner.
You did mini golf.
I did mini golf, but the year before we were together.
Yeah. Oh, you did birthday dinner.
And I did a birthday dinner.
And I thought mini golf was much more creative and fun.
Yeah, well, you were out of town for my birthday 3 years ago when we did bowling, and that was actually very fun.
See, like just pick an activity. Like dinner is so like, dinner.
I don't share your gripes with dinner. Dinner is one of my top 3 favorite meals of the day.
No,
Okay.
I don't mind eating dinner. That was a good joke. I didn't catch it.
Thank you.
I don't mind. I don't have a gripe with dinner.
Yeah.
Dîner, as they say in French.
Well,
I have a gripe with doing a birthday dinner, and you did it at my birthday dinner.
you know,
And you did it at my birthday dinner.
Tana Menage.
No, it's not Tana Mojo.
Tana Menage.
No, the person who did and you did it at my birthday dinner is Tati Westbrook. They're completely different people.
Sucking dick and cock.
Yeah, Tati Westbrook.
Like time and place.
And you did it
And
at
you
my
did it at my
birthday
birthday
dinner.
dinner.
That's Tati Westbrook. Completely different person than Tana Mojo.
Okay. Well, they're the same person. to me.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
The internet people are going to really come after you.
Honey, the internet people do not care what I say because I say way too many controversial opinions on here.
I guess, but they're going to really come after you.
Really? Are they that popular, those people?
Well, not Tati Westbrook anymore, because what happened was she tried to take down James Charles, and then James Charles clapped back.
Well, didn't he get taken down because he like dates children?
Later on, James Charles. No, he's canceled. Is he canceled still, or is he?
Well, he's a predator.
I wasn't super informed on
preyed
what
on underage boys, so that's pretty bad.
This episode is sponsored by Disney Plus. Now,
Disney Plus, we love you.
what were we talking about?
My
birthday?
You did a birthday dinner.
Yeah, and you did at my birthday dinner.
Did a lot of
now I
mental
remember.
hoops to get back to
Yeah, see,
that.
I'm not into birthday dinners.
Yeah,
As much.
yeah.
Mostly because, like, here's the real reason. You know I'm frugal.
Yes.
And when you go to a birthday dinner, it's always like, the birthday person doesn't have to pay, which is fine, except that means that my bill becomes $70.
Yeah, you know what? I did a birthday brunch once at Pump in West Hollywood.
Okay.
R.I.P. And that was fun because everyone else paid for my boozy brunch. That was back when I was drinking.
Yeah, but it's just like, I guess it's fun if you're the birthday person, but like, I feel like nobody wants to spend $70 on my birthday dinner. You know what I mean?
I certainly don't, but I will.
Well, you're my boyfriend. There's a difference. Like
I'm
asking.
your partner.
What's the difference?
I don't like the word boyfriend. I never use that one.
Okay, you're my partner.
Yeah.
Partner.
Mm-hmm.
Asking like all of your friends to pay like $70-$80 on like dinner just feels like a lot. And I would rather be like when we went to the mini golf, it was $12. And it was fun.
Yeah.
Like it was more fun to me than dinner because
we had so much fun mini golfing.
No, because here's the
Jay
thing.
Morey was there. He made the ball disappear.
Yeah.
I mean, hello.
But like when you're at dinner, right? You can't talk to everyone.
Yeah.
So it's not very like mingly. You just talk to like your little circle. I'm gonna sneeze.
Oh, that's your. Oh, That's your
Sorry.
5th sneeze on the podcast.
I guess so. And you have to pay a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like I would rather do a thing where like when we did mini golf, it was like I got to talk to everyone, I got to hang out with everyone, I got to like engage. We were playing a fun game, which was mini golf, and it was much less expensive than going to a birthday dinner at a nice restaurant.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still going to take you out for a birthday dinner at a nice restaurant. So.
I'm not talking about like solo one-on-one dinners. That can be lovely.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like group dinners as the birthday
I don't
activity.
hate a group dinner. I got to tell you, I don't hate it.
I don't know. I think it just makes me anxious.
See, for those of us who have had regular work schedules,
honey,
if your birthday's on a Wednesday and like doing a birthday dinner is a very courteous and fun thing to do because you can go out, have a great time, see all your friends, and then be home by 10 p.m.
Or you just do a birthday thing on the Saturday. Like your birthday thing doesn't have to be on the...
But people want to celebrate on their birthday because it's not as special if you do it a different day. You're like, I don't know how this happens, but you get like the eternal weekend birthday. Your birthday is always somehow on like a weekend.
That's not true.
It is true. It's on a Saturday this year.
This year?
Last year was on I think it was
on Friday.
I mean,
but that means the year before it was probably on Thursday.
No, because somewhere in there we had a leap year.
Well, I'm not always on the weekend. I've been on weekdays before.
Yeah, I have the eternal weekday birthday.
I just think I think it's fun to do something. If your actual birthday is not on a weekend, do something small and fun on your birthday with your
But
your
that's what I'm saying.
immediate
The
circle.
group dinner on your birthday
Is the small and fun thing.
That's the small fun thing.
But then on the weekend, do you do something else as well?
Probably, maybe, depends.
Like, I don't know. For me, I'm like, we're having this party. That's the big fun thing.
Yeah.
Also, like there. So you never watched this, but Victorious. We talked about this show before,
I didn't
right?
see it.
There was like a joke on Victorious where she, her older sister Trina is like very like self-centered, right?
Yeah.
And there was an episode where it's her birth week, and they're like, "What's
I
a
do birth month.
That's what I'm saying. They're like, what's a birth week? And she's like, oh, well, Trina thinks that a day is not enough celebration, so she does a whole week of birthday celebrating. And I'm like, that's actually not that crazy. Enjoy your birth week.
I do a month.
Do celebrations every day.
The full month of December is my birth month. Like that is
great.
That's my month.
Well,
you know?
I'm going to do a birth week, and it's going to start tomorrow, and it's going to go all the way through to next week.
No, it doesn't apply after your birthday.
Well, then, honey, I've wasted the week.
Yeah, a little bit.
I want to do more events. I want to do more birthday events.
Well, we are doing it. We're going to Disneyland.
And you have
We
to take me to
talked about
Six
this.
Flags.
Yes, you want to go to Six Flags, and we'll figure out when we're doing that. But yeah, after the day, you're done.
I'm done.
Well, the day actually that's not true because I'm taking you on your birthday dinner the day after your birthday.
Yeah.
So you're
Which
you're
is
not,
April 13th.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Spooky. It's the 13th.
But it's not a Friday.
No, but it's the 13th.
So what that's Friday the 13th is the scary day.
I know, but the 13th. It's the 13th, 13. It's a crazy number.
I lived at 13 Drive when I was growing up. That was my address, 13.
Wow.
Is that why I'm such a demon?
Maybe I think you've had luck in your life. Found me. I'm lucky. I'm lucky.
You let me know when the luck arrives, and I will.
It arrived the day you met me.
Okay, let's talk about Cats the Musical.
Honey, I had a great segue for Cats the Musical before, which was completely destroyed. And let me tell you something else.
What was the segue? Do you remember?
We were talking about Lawrence the Cat.
Lawrence the Cat.
And then I said something about how people are like all into their cats,
Yeah.
and then we wound up talking about Cats the Musical.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something else.
Yeah.
We are 45 minutes into this episode. 15 minutes is not enough time. 15 minutes is not enough time for Cats the Musical.
Well, in the infamous words of Old Deuteronomy,
I've actually never been more offended in my entire life.
yeah.
The cats in Cats the Musical do not hiss.
Yeah.
They do not purr. That's not the point. Okay? So don't even come
They
for
do
me.
climb on audience members, which is very cat-like.
They sort of do, I guess. Yeah. They kind of like just go throughout the audience and up onto the stage.
Well, see, the production I saw, they were doing like sitting on people and stuff, like kind of crazy.
Here's the thing, okay? People get so caught up in Cats the Musical being like, there's no plot. I don't understand the plot. They're all cats. Like, are they supposed to be purring? Like, ooh, like, are they like lick themselves? Like, they think they're cats? And I'm like, guys, you have to take a step back. You have to understand Cats the Musical in the larger context. Okay?
And what is that larger context?
Well, it's in the context of Broadway, like at that time, which like there were a lot of like experimental things being done. Like, I mean, this was a little bit before that, but like Hair, it was like kind of an experimental concept musical. In the 70s, Company was one of them. In the 70s, there were a lot of like...
Company's terrible.
People are going to come for you.
That's the goal.
Company's not terrible. You just don't give it a chance. Maybe you don't like concept musicals.
I like Cats.
Okay. All right.
I like Cats.
So there were a lot of concept musicals at that time, and Cats like falls. Dun dun.
See?
Yeah, that's
Love.
that. That's it.
Love.
And the thing about Cats that a lot of people don't realize as well is that it is Andrew Lloyd Webber took a book that already existed by T.S. Eliot, who was a writer in like the 1900s. And it was called Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, which was a book for children about all these different kinds of cats and like all of their different kind of quirks and personalities, and they have different jobs and different things that they do.
Sure.
And Andrew Lloyd Webber said that he wanted to give himself an exercise, and the exercise was like he had written musicals before, but he had never written music based on pre-existing lyrics, and he wanted to see if he could take the pre-existing lyrics and turn them into music. So he wrote these songs around the lyrics that already existed.
Okay.
And then they turned that into the musical, and they sort of crafted a bit of a narrative around it with Grisabella, because Grisabella was never Grisabella, who sings Memory, was never in that book, Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. She wasn't a character in that book. But the Grisabella the Glamour Cat, which is a song they sing in the first act, was an unpublished poem by T.S. Eliot. And I believe his wife gave Andrew Lloyd Webber the poem when she heard what he was doing with the work.
And Maxwell Sheffield famously passed on
Right,
it.
right. Stupid. That's like a hilarious like inaccuracy that like they always say that Andrew Lloyd Webber is a producer basically, when he's not a producer, he's a composer. Like Maxwell Sheffield always thinks that
Yeah, but
Andrew
he passed on Cats, honey.
Yeah, right.
You know, his biggest
big failure is that he
was
passed
passing
like
on
I love that
Cats.
joke. I mean, that's amazing.
God
We should watch
damn it,
more.
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
We should watch more The Nanny. I miss The Nanny. We haven't watched it in a while. We like watched the whole thing. So that is how Cats came to be.
That's
and then he
wonderful.
wrote Memory. Memory is the one song that was like from scratch.
Midnight
Right.
alone on the pavement.
No, that's not right.
Well, it's right enough.
Midnight, not a sound from the pavement, I think is right.
I think I
can
remember
smell
All
the
Alone.
old days. There is All Alone, but it's Oh gosh.
See, you don't know everything about cats. Larry claims to know everything about cats.
That's the one song I don't really know all the lyrics to. Isn't that
Memory?
crazy? Because that one, it kind of gets like it's repetitive and there's different lyrics for the same melody.
See, I had a big Barbra Streisand like household fandom going on. And so Memory was, always on the rotation, Barbara's version.
Touch me, it's so easy to leave me.
It sure
all
is.
alone with the memory. That's where All Alone is.
It sure is easy. You just love cats.
You haven't gotten up and
you
walked
just love
out
cats
yet.
because you love seeing men wearing tons of makeup and spandex that shows their pee-pees.
That's not true. That's not true. There's also women in that show.
Uh-huh.
It is a little sexual at moments.
Well, just the outfits, they're so form-fitting that like you see everything.
Not on all of them. It depends on it's only on the hot ones that they do that. They're wearing like, cups or whatever, they have protection, dance belts.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It must be like a joy to do that because, I'm sure those costumes are very breathable.
Yeah, I'm just playing up the Larry is kind of perverted, angle.
Why? Why do you need to play up that angle? And you did it at my birthday dinner. It's my birth week. She cut me some slack.
You are killing me today.
Well, I'm really on one.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
I love talking about cats. This is not enough time. It's really not enough time.
You have 4 minutes left.
Yeah, it's not enough time.
Yeah.
We can really talk. I could really talk about Cats the musical.
I like that there's a big shoe.
I love the shoe.
I like the big shoe.
The shoe. Do you have any questions for me about Cats the musical?
You said there was an orgy in it, which makes me very uncomfortable, and I don't remember there being an orgy.
It's just
when
a
I
dance
saw Cats.
sequence.
So it's not an orgy.
No, they're not making sex noises, but it's like a dance sequence that's sort of like an orgy at moments.
So you just think it's an orgy. It's not an actual orgy.
No, like it kind of canonically is, but it's like a dance
Canonically
sequence.
by whom? Who has said that?
The aficionados of Cats.
Uh-huh.
It's like the choreography is such that like they kind of all like get into a circle. They kind of like all get into a clump and like rub each other. Kind of.
Honey, that is so crass.
You asked me. That's the question that you asked.
I know because you mentioned it, and then I was like, "What?" I was like, "There's no orgy in Cats." Like I've seen Cats, and I think I would remember.
I mean,
if the cat started,
it's not like vulgar. It's not vulgar, but it's like a little. If you're an adult, you're like, "Oh, that's kind of an orgy."
Oh,
It's not like Hair, where there's like an actual orgy.
well, I don't assume, or Pippin. I don't assume those things.
Right.
I don't assume those things when I go into
Sure.
musicals.
Pippin's another concept
because,
musical,
frankly,
by the way.
Musicals should be fun for the whole family, and that is not fun for the whole family.
I disagree. Musicals are a place to push the boundaries. I feel like I learned
that sells.
I feel like I learned like more about life from musicals.
Well, that explains why you're the way you are.
I learned what like AIDS was from Rent.
Girl, you learned what AIDS was from Rent?
Yeah. When I was like 10 years old, I saw Rent, and then
Did you
my mom
open a
explained-
history book?
Not when I was 10.
Oh my god.
And my mom explained to me like what AIDS was at the time.
Oh my god.
And like I learned so much like from musicals about like the world and but adults things. Like that was my gateway into like learning about the world. I think that musicals are a place like for all of those things. I think that you should be honest with those things, you shouldn't bring a kid to like cabaret necessarily, but that doesn't mean that the musical shouldn't exist or that all musicals are for children. That's kind of like a watering down of the art form.
Well,
my
I'm
opinion.
just not supportive of the hetero narrative. That's what really, gets me in these musicals.
Okay, well, Frozen has a hetero narrative, and that's for children.
Right.
A
That's what
Lion
I'm
King
saying.
has a hetero narrative, and they're lions.
I'm not arguing anything about children right now. I'm arguing I hate the hetero narrative.
Okay.
in
Well,
a
there's no
musical.
hetero narrative in Cats.
Right. There's not really a romance thing.
No.
No.
There's actually the Rum Tum Tugger, like
What did
the Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat.
I know? I was just about to make a joke.
So he is like the very promiscuous, and usually they put a boy in like the ensemble of like cats that are like, turned on by him. Because there's like he's kind of like a rock star, and there's like the gaggle of like girl cats, but usually there's like a boy cat in there.
You just like the swishing hips.
I kind of do, and their little tails that swish. It's amazing dance. It's amazing dancing.
Yeah, it's decent. I thought.
It's pretty wonderful. Do you have any other questions before I can no longer talk about cats? You pushed me into this only being able to talk about cats for 15 minutes. I'm very anxious about it.
I have no idea. Well, what else do you want to say about it? I mean, you have 2 minutes left.
What?
2
more
minutes.
More than 2 minutes.
You have 2 minutes.
It's my podcast. I could talk for as long as I want. Okay, this is a 2-hour episode.
Thank you so much for joining us.
I mean, well, is there anything else that you're like, I want to know this about cats?
Not really. I've seen cats. I know cats. I don't need to know more about it.
Honey, you're not really doing a great volley here. You're supposed to like be like, I'm curious about this. It's called an interview.
I'm not.
Jesus.
I'm not interviewing
He claims
you, girl.
to be this award-winning interviewer.
I am an award-winning interviewer, but this is not an interview.
It could be.
Well, it's not. We're just two of the girls sitting and chatting.
Did gay people like Cats the musical?
No.
I'm going to argue. I think that's not true.
Well,
If you're gay and you like musicals.
most gay people don't like musicals.
That's not true. That's not true.
Well, no,
Many gay people like musicals.
Most gay people don't, but there's a branch of gay called theater gay who do like musicals.
It's not true that most gay people don't like musicals.
I don't know.
I think if you are gay, you get like a musical theater textbook handed to you.
No, but most gays are exceptionally bitchy, and like they don't it's like
Look, I do know a lot of gays that don't like musicals. I'm not saying that all gays like musicals.
I think most don't. I think there's a subsect of being gay that is musical theater gays who like musicals.
I would say it's like, yes, there's a subset of like musical theater gays that
And
are like
of that subset-
super into musicals.
And of that subset of musical theater gays, not even all of them like Cats.
I would say it would be at least 98%.
Like Cats
Yes.
of the subsect of musical theater gays.
Yes, if you're a musical theater gay, I think you probably like Cats.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
Because Cats is super gay.
Is it?
I mean, it's just
It's about like
it's-
women cats mostly.
It's not about women cats. There are women cats in it.
Right, but what's that doing for the gay people?
Well, there's also men cats.
Yeah.
And it's fabulous. It has lots of fabulosity.
I remember it looking very dirty. Is that controversial to say?
Dirty.
Like the set and everything was like kind of dirty.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, because they hang out in a lot of dirty places.
It takes place in a junkyard.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But it's not dirty. It's
But, like,
a set.
Right, the set, like everything kind of looked dirty. You know what I mean?
It looks like a junkyard.
Right. Are we speaking to? Okay, 9 sneezes today.
When people attack
Are
me
we
about
speaking-
cats, I sneeze.
Are we speaking different languages? Like a junkyard is inherently dirty, so it
Yeah, but-
looks dirty.
But it's
Am
like
I
a
crazy?
magical junkyard. It's a magical junkyard.
That's people have described me that way.
I don't have a comeback for that.
All right. Any final thoughts on Cats?
I love
Before
it.
we never talk about it again.
That's not true. We will be talking about it more next episode because I was promised a full 30 minutes about cats. That's what I was promised before we started recording this episode.
All
and then
right.
I tried to segue to cats. And what do you say? Hey, talk about your birthday a bit more. You got me talking about my birthday, talking about James Charles, Tati Westbrook.
Oh God.
And what you were just pushing off the cat's
Doing it at your
conversation.
birthday dinner.
Doing it at my birthday dinner.
Yeah.
You did it at my birthday dinner.
Okay. Tell me one thing you do successfully, quickly.
Talk about cats.
All right, there you go. You can follow us on social media at Let's Talk About That Pod. That's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah, and you can send us an email. Let's talk about that pod at gmail.com. Is there anything else new that we've been doing recently on the socials?
No.
Hey, we have a couple of YouTube videos. You should watch those.
Oh, yeah. We have like YouTube videos that aren't podcast episodes. They're kind of cool.
Yeah.
And there will be more.
Yeah, how about that John Tartaglia?
Oh, what
So
a guy.
good.
All right, we'll see you next week on Let's Talk About That.
Bye.